Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Julia.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here again. We're very happy you're spending some time with us today.
Absolutely. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something that affects all of us, especially English learners, and that is memory.
Yes, many learners say, I study new words, I practice grammar, but I forget everything after a few days. If that sounds familiar to you, this episode is for you.
Exactly. So today's topic is how to improve your memory, not in a complicated scientific way, but in a simple, practical way that you can use in your daily English learning.
We'll share easy techniques to remember new words, remember what you study, and remember it for a long time, not just for one day or one exam.
We'll talk about why we forget, how memory actually works, and what you can do to train your brain to remember better.
And we'll also do a small practice together so you can see how these techniques work in real life.
So if you're tired of forgetting vocabulary, lessons, or important information,
Stay with us, because by the end of this episode, you'll have simple tools to improve your memory and learn English more easily.
all right, let's get started. So, Julia, before we talk about how to improve memory, I think we should first understand what memory actually is.
Yes, that's a great idea. In simple words, memory is the brain's ability to receive information, store it, and then find it again when we need it.
Exactly. When you hear a new English word, your brain first notices it. Then it tries to save it. And later, when you want to speak or write, your brain tries to bring that word back.
But the problem is, our brain is not a perfect recording machine. It's more like a filter. It decides what is important and what is not.
That's why we remember emotional moments very well, like a happy day, a scary moment, or something very funny, but we forget a long list of vocabulary very quickly.
Because emotional or meaningful information feels important to the brain. But when we study in a boring or stressful way, the brain thinks, this is not important, and it lets it go.
Another reason we forget is information overload. We try to learn too much at one time: 50 words, 10 grammar rules, and a long text in one day.
Yes, and the brain gets tired. When it's tired, it cannot store information well, so a lot of what we study just disappears.
We also forget because we don't review. We learn something once, and then we never look at it again.
And memory is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it becomes weak. If you use it again and again, it becomes stronger.
So forgetting is not a personal failure. It's a normal brain process.
Exactly. Forgetting means your brain is human, not broken.
And the good news is, because memory is a process, it can be trained.
And that's what we're going to show you in the next parts of this episode.
One of the biggest mistakes learners make is trying to memorize without understanding.
Yes, they repeat a word again and again like a robot, but they don't really connect it to anything.
For example, you see the word improve. You repeat improve, 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 but you don't know how it feels, how to use it, or what it connects to.
So the brain says, this is empty information, and it doesn't save it deeply.
But when you learn with meaning, you give the brain a reason to remember.
Meaning can be many things: an image, a story, a feeling, or a personal example.
Let's take the word improve. Instead of just repeating it, you can think, I want to improve my English. You see yourself speaking better, feeling more confident.
Now the word is connected to your life, and the brain says, oh, this is important.
Another example, the word nervous. Don't just translate it. Remember a time when you felt nervous, maybe before an exam or before speaking English.
When you connect a word to a real emotion or memory, it becomes sticky in the brain.
You can also learn through small stories. For example, yesterday, I was nervous before my presentation, but after I started, I felt confident.
Now you've connected nervous and confident in a real situation.
So the key idea here is simple. Don't memorize words. Build relationships with words.
Yes, treat words like people. If you only see them once, you forget them. If you meet them again and use them, you remember them.
So every time you learn something new, ask yourself, what does this mean to me? How can I use this in my life?
And that's how you turn repetition into real memory.
Now that we know learning with meaning is important, let's talk about one of the strongest memory tools: active recall.
Active recall means trying to remember something before you look at the answer.
Most learners do the opposite. They read their notes again and again and think they are learning.
But reading is passive. It feels easy, but it doesn't train the brain to remember.
Active recall is when you close the book and ask yourself, what were the 3 new words I learned yesterday?
Or you look at the word in your language and try to remember the English word.
This effort, this small struggle, is what builds strong memory.
Because the brain learns better when it works a little.
Self-testing is a great way to use active recall. You can use flashcards, small quizzes, or just ask yourself questions.
For example, you can write 5 words on a paper, hide them, and then try to say them again from memory.
Or you can pause a podcast or video and try to repeat what you heard.
And when you check the answer and see you were wrong, that's not a failure.
That's learning. Mistakes show the brain what needs more attention.
So don't be afraid of forgetting or making mistakes during practice.
That's exactly how memory becomes stronger.
So remember this. If it feels a little hard, it's probably good for your memory.
Now, let's talk about another powerful memory idea: spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition means reviewing information over time, not all at once.
Many learners try to study everything in one long session, for example, 3 hours in one day.
But the brain doesn't like that. It gets tired and most of the information is forgotten quickly.
Spaced repetition is the opposite. You study a little today, then review tomorrow, then after a few days, and then again after a week.
Each time you review, you tell your brain, this is important. Please keep this.
For example, if you learn 5 new words today, review them tomorrow for 2 minutes.
Then review them again after 3 days, and again after 1 week.
This small review keeps the memory alive and slowly moves it into long-term memory.
It's like watering a plant. You don't give it all the water on one day, you give it a little again and again.
And this method is especially helpful for language learning, because language needs long-term memory.
So instead of asking, how long should I study today? Ask, when should I review this again?
That simple change can make a big difference in your memory. Now let's talk about how to use images and connections to make memory stronger.
Yes, the brain loves pictures, stories, and funny or strange ideas.
When you learn something new, try to see it in your mind.
For example, the word crowded. Don't just read it. Imagine a very crowded bus full of people, maybe even too full.
Now that word has a picture, and pictures are easier to remember than words alone.
You can also connect new information to something you already know. That's called association.
For example, the word bright. You can think of the sun, a bright light, or a bright smile.
Now the word is connected to a real image in your brain.
You can also make funny or strange images. The brain remembers strange things very well.
Like imagining a giant book walking on the street to remember the word library.
It sounds silly, but it works.
So when something feels hard to remember, don't fight your brain play with it.
Turn information into pictures, stories, and connections.
And your brain will do the rest.
All right, Julia. Now let's show our listeners how these memory techniques work in real life.
Great idea. Let's do a small memory practice together.
I'm going to give you 3 new English words.
I'm ready.
The words are efficient, relaxed, and challenge.
Okay, efficient, relaxed, challenge.
Now, don't repeat them many times. Instead, let's use meaning and images.
All right. Efficient means doing something in a good, fast, and smart way. I imagine myself studying English for 20 minutes every day that's efficient.
Nice. What about relaxed?
I imagine myself sitting with a cup of tea, smiling, no stress. I feel calm. That's relaxed.
Perfect. And challenge?
A challenge is something difficult but interesting. I imagine a big mountain with the word English on it. Learning English is a challenge, but I enjoy climbing it.
Great images. Now let's test your memory with active recall. Don't look. What were the 3 words?
Let me think. Efficient, relaxed, and challenge.
Excellent. Now use them in one sentence.
Okay, learning English is a challenge, but if I study in an efficient way and stay relaxed, I can improve.
Beautiful sentence. That's how memory becomes real and useful.
Yes, meaning image, recall, and use. That's the formula.
Julia, before we finish memory training, let's talk about some common mistakes learners make.
Yes, this is important. Mistakes can slow down progress a lot if we don't notice them.
The first mistake is studying too long without breaks. Some learners think, if I study for 3 hours straight, I'll remember everything.
But the brain can only focus for a limited time. After that, information is easily forgotten. Short, focused sessions work much better.
The second mistake is cramming, trying to learn everything in one day. It feels fast, but most of it disappears in a few hours or days.
Third, many learners use passive reading instead of active practice. Just reading notes or looking at flashcards without recalling or using the words doesn't build memory.
Finally, some learners don't connect words to real life or meaning. They just repeat words like a machine. Without meaning or emotion, the brain forgets quickly.
So remember, study in short sessions, review over time, use active recall, and always connect learning to meaning or life.
Avoid these mistakes, and your memory will improve much faster. Julia, now let's give our listeners a simple daily routine to train their memory.
Yes, the key is to make it small, easy, and consistent. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Here's a simple routine. First, review old words you learned yesterday or last week. Just a quick look for 2 to 3 minutes.
Next, learn 3 to 5 new words. Don't overload yourself. Use meaning, images, or a small story for each word.
Then, active recall. Try to remember the words without looking at your notes. Test yourself.
Finally, use the words in sentences speak, write, or think in English. This step makes memory stronger and real.
You can do this routine anywhere on the bus, at home, or during a short break.
Consistency is more important than time. Small daily practice beats long, rare study sessions.
Exactly. Follow this routine, and over weeks, your memory and English skills will improve a lot. Julia, before we finish, let's talk about motivation and mindset. These are just as important as the techniques we discussed.
Absolutely. Many learners give up because they forget words or grammar too quickly. But remember, forgetting is normal.
Yes, Memory is a skill, not a talent. The more you train, the better it becomes. Even small efforts every day make a huge difference over time.
Patience is key. Don't expect to remember everything immediately. Focus on progress, not perfection.
Also, enjoy the process. Make learning fun with images, stories, and real-life practice. When you enjoy it, your brain remembers more easily.
And remember, consistency beats intensity. A little practice every day is better than long, irregular sessions.
So stay motivated, trust the process, and keep training your memory every day. Your English will improve along the way.
Exactly. With the right mindset and techniques, you can remember anything you want.
All right, Julia, let's quickly recap what we learned today.
Sure. First, we talked about how memory works and why we forget. Then we learned the importance of learning with meaning, not just repeating words.
We also discussed active recall, self-testing, and spaced repetition, which help keep information in your long-term memory.
And don't forget visual images, associations, and mini practice. These make memory stronger and more fun.
We also shared a simple daily routine to train your memory and talked about common mistakes to avoid.
Finally, we reminded everyone that motivation, mindset, and consistency are key. Small steps every day make a big difference.
So now it's your turn. Start practicing these techniques today and watch your memory improve.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And leave a comment. Tell us which memory technique you will try first.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the English Learning Podcast.
Happy learning and happy remembering.